Okay, part two. Spiel. Now, I realized that I'm going to be doing most of the talking.
No, that's fine.
So by all means, do ask questions. So Spiel has always been quite amazing. We did have, as in with we, I mean me and my husband, we did have a bit of a disappointment before the show because I've been going to Spiel since 2011. It was the first time that I was there, and I've been getting press passes because of the work that I do whilst I'm over there since 2012.
Yeah,
every year. The only thing they ask is you have to cover the show. And when
makes
I send,
sense, yeah.
but the thing is, when I send, these are the 40 interviews we did last year. These are the 30 interviews we did last year. This is the article that I published. These are the reviews I do with the games from Spiel. They were like, there are press passes for you, no problemo. You do work. This year, however, we were refused. We were told no, because we don't meet the criteria, which is a bit way and also they came back with, sorry, just you didn't get a pass in 2023, so you're gonna get it in 2024. So I sent an email with, look, this is my press pass from last year. We did get it. Oh, sorry, yeah. I mean, but you're still not getting it for 2024. This is going to be I understand that this is going to be disappointing to you. And no, he said frustrating. Not disappointed. Yeah. This is frustrating. But that I was still welcome to visit the show and do the interviews.
Okay. But you're limited on when you can come in, right? Is that how it works?
Firstly, you have to buy the tickets, which is absolutely fine. The tickets to get to Spiel are not really that expensive, so I'm okay spending the money. But yes, you are limited. You can only go at 10 a.m. You don't get access to the press lounge, which is quite useful for people who need to store equipment from one day to the next and have a place to sit down and, gather your thoughts or whatever. You can't stay later than this, the closing times, whereas if you are press, you can. So it is inconvenient. It is, all I would say, it is very convenient to have a press pass.
Yeah.
So, but I found it quite cheeky to say, we're not going to give you this, but you can still come if you want to and do interviews. So fucking hell. It would be amazing that you say, and you cannot even make it. Fuck you. I didn't say that. So I mailed back saying, this is not frustrating. This is disappointing because, firstly, at no point they have given the reasons why we don't meet the criteria. I found out later on at Spiel. And secondly, the people who go to do interviews, especially people who are on a niche market like myself, who deals with Asian games, we are the people, we are the window that those creators, those companies can use once a year, and they spend a lot of time to come to Essen to make their games known. I know that people like me are the only ones who interview small companies. And I know for a fact that I have...
for some people, that's it, yeah.
Exactly. I have interviewed people and companies who've not got any coverage from the media whatsoever. By depriving people like me of a press pass, they may depriving those people from that window of opportunity, even if the channel is small like mine. But it is that little window. And all for no reason whatsoever, because giving away 200-300 press passes every year means very little in terms of the amount of people that can get into the show. And I know that it is limited to 50,000 per day. And the amount of money that they are going to put in the kitty at the end of the day. But they are depriving people who come from very, very far away from a potential marketing tool that otherwise they will never get to have. And now that is what I find disappointing, because we could always count on Spiel management to help those people. We could always count on the Spiel management to be treated like professionals, even if we are just bloggers and YouTubers who don't make a living out of this.
Yeah.
So I found out later that the current company running Spiel, who are the same people running the Nuremberg toy show, only consider press passes or press to the traditional press.
Yeah.
So YouTubers, bloggers, apparently we are not the press, which is incredibly backwards.
Yeah.
Incredibly backwards. So I need some press pass from a magazine or a newspaper to be considered the press, even though I have done over 150, nearly 200 interviews in all the time that I've been going to Spiel. More than most of the press have been going there for the same length of time that I have. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that reasoning from the Spiel managers right now is complete and utter bullshit.
Yeah.
And I would love for them to come to me and say, hey, Hako, that was a very stingy podcast. I would like to get the other side to get a balanced view. Yes, please, effing come. Explain it to me, to my face, and go. But having said that, this year we were supported by Maple on Board Vanguard. And as you, Chris, may know, and some of the viewers, listeners may know, I have recently become a licensing agent for Maple on Board Vanguard. Maple on Board Vanguard is a company that is dedicated to find localization for board games and now role-playing games as well, which is what I am going to do. So we take games that are being kickstarted or that are being published, and we find publishers in Poland, in Germany, in China, in Spain, in Italy, in Holland, wherever we can, to make sure that they are translated and sold in as many places as possible. So Maple on Board has a large booth. Michael Roftopoulos, who is a good friend, is an absolutely wonderful human being. And he said, hey, Paco, why don't you use a table and do the interviews from the booth? And I said,
there we go.
What kind of idiot would say no to that? Thank you very much, sir. I love you. And that's what we did. Martin, my husband, was a little bit, I don't know if we're going to be able to get enough people here to come to us. Why would they come to us? And yet, we managed to fill all the schedule. We had to find gaps to fit in even more people. And we had an absolutely fantastic time. Everybody
Well, there you go.
It was wonderful.
Things work out in the end.
So, good things I have seen. I was already in love with them. Now I am an absolutely devoted fan of E10 games.
Okay.
Wow. I mean, if you don't know E10 games, they are incredible. They are this Japanese company.
What are the sub games that they're known for?
Tokyo Highway.
Okay.
There's another, I can't remember the name of the game now. Oh, this is so bad of me. But this is a balancing game. It's a dexterity game, which is a rocking boat. You need to put pieces one side or the other to keep it balanced. And it is very hard. Very, very hard.
Right.
There is another game they have that it's called 5 seconds answer or something like that, in which you literally have 5 seconds because you have to put a little ball on the top of a platform that will do and come down in exactly 5 seconds. And that's the time you have to do whatever task you have to do. I interviewed them for 3 games. Tokyo Highway, it is this absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous game in which you have to put little sticks, plastic sticks, between platforms and claim the space with a little car to create the Tokyo Highway. And you can only create, you can only create a Tokyo Highway. You can only put some platform if they're going to be either higher or lower. You can never have a level one. And believe me, when you start to put those things together, it looks beautiful. It is fiendishly difficult because you need to put the car on top without it falling. Otherwise, you don't get to build that stretch of the road. And you have missions to do in order to get more points. Perfection. It's an amazing game for adults. It's a wonderful game for children. And the graphic design is so slick, so incredibly slick. It's just, as a graphic designer, I am in awe. Well, I interviewed them for 3 games. The 3 games are just amazing, super simple. You can explain them in 5 minutes or less. I really had a great time. And they were absolutely wonderful people. So that was one of my super highlights. Another highlight was Far Place Games.
Far Play?
Far Place.
Far Place. Oh, Far Place.
Yes, this is a British company run by an incredibly charismatic and slightly bizarre, amazingly charming man called Gareth Edwards, who is quite a personality.
Not the astoundingly good film director Gareth Edwards.
No,
because that would be crazy.
No. It is not. No, it's not a director, and it's not a rugby player either.
Gareth Edwards is actually my all-time favorite director currently working today.
Yeah, no, I'm afraid
I would have been jealous. I tell you, but Gareth Edwards, the guy who directed Rogue One and the creator in 2014's Godzilla, that one, I'm on board. No. I can't believe you would have kept that under your hat.
No, I'm afraid that he's not the one. But this guy,
I'd be like, I hope you got 2 friends and didn't call me up and go, hey, by the way, I have a friend who's a screenwriter.
Well, I think this Gareth is probably more awesome. I can tell you, this Gareth is more awesome than the director because he's designing something like 20 games. I mean, this is an incredible amount. Of those, about 6 or 7 last year, and produced them. And all the money goes to Far Place Animal Rescue.
Oh.
Where they have an absolutely ridiculous amount of animals that they give shelter to. He's managed to open about 80 charity shops. I think you call them thrift stores. Which, by the way,
thrift stores.
I would never understand why you call them that because it's very difficult to pronounce.
Thrift?
Yeah, thrift stores. Charity shops is a lot easier. So there you go. That's what they do, and that's what he does with the money. He's incredibly charming, super hyperactive. It's just non-stop nuclear energy coming out of him, and I was really inspired. How much you can do when you make something your life's mission. I don't think I have what it takes to do that with anything, but this man, he managed to raise over £6 million. That's about $8 million American, US dollars last year alone, just to look after animals because they never turn an animal down and they never put them down.
That's astoundingly high. That's a lot of money.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So, big shout out of Gareth. I am a fan. You're my muse. Seriously. The third thing, so I don't keep going on, that I found, there's another organization called Japan Brand. Now, I love them because what they do is that every year they make some sort of competition where designers can send their games and they will bring them to Spiel in the hopes of getting them published. And some of the games, they do publish themselves also. So, sorry, humans, I need to sneeze. So, they show me this game. Bonkers. It's a sheet of blue plastic. And in the middle, there are a bunch of meeples. So what you have to do is you have to get out as many meeples as possible because they are in the swimming pool and they're children and they need to get out of the swimming pool. How do you do that? You have to do this with your finger, put it from the top, place it on one meeple and slide it off the swimming pool without it slipping. If it slips, it makes some noise. And if it's making some noise, it means that they're being naughty. And do you know
Right.
what you do with children when they're being naughty at the swimming pool? You send them to the toilet.
Okay.
And until you don't have enough children in the toilet, the first child cannot come out. And when they come out, they kind of learn their lesson and they can go back into the swimming pool. So you can try and get them out again.
Wow.
Okay. That game was designed by a 9-year-old.
Oh, really?
Yes. And there you go. She got her first game at Spiel. So, I will say, like I said during my interview, Elizabeth Hargrave, you have competition. Because if this young girl at 9 is able to do this, I don't even want to imagine what she's going to be like when she's 16. She's going to be completely insufferable.
Yeah, funny.
So that was absolutely fantastic. And a big shout out to Patrick from ArcLight, who gave me one of the most charming and delightfully beautiful games from the show called The Cat and the Tower. Have you played Rhino Hero?
Rhino Hero? No.
No, Super Rhino. I don't know how you call it in English. Okay, but okay, so basically it's a game about building a tower. The story behind is about this kitten who's lost his mother. And he wants to go to heaven to find his mother again. And the way to do that is to build this tower. And as you build the tower, which is a little bit wonky in places, you get little pieces of cardboard and you put them just like you're building a cards castle.
Oh, okay. Like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Similar to that. And you're building it. But every time that you need to build, you need to take some cat nipples and put them on some of the platforms, which are very uneven and very unstable. So every time that you manage to do something, a little bit of the story as to why this cat wants to find his mom again after she died is unveiled. Until you get to level 20, which is when you find the kitten's mom. I'm not going to talk about the story because I don't want to spoil it. But seriously, if it doesn't bring you to tears, you have no soul.
Oh, really?
It is that moving, absolutely charming, enchanting, and moving. And the game is frustrating, is very difficult, is equally beautiful, and is amazingly fun and satisfying to play if you like dexterity games, which I do. You can build up to 24 levels. The designer has managed 20. And I don't know how tall it would be to build the 24 levels, but on camera, we built 3, and it was about 1 foot tall. So exactly. So this is going to be a game, that tower that could be 1.5 meters or 2 meters tall by the end of the game, which is unbelievable in a game that comes in a box no bigger than my phone. So yeah, that was Spiel. It was absolutely amazing. I didn't bring as many games as I did other years.
Yeah. How many did you bring? Like you bought boxes last time.
Yeah, this time I think I only brought about 30 games. Because I still have games from last year that I haven't been able to play. And I feel bad about that. So this year, I want to make sure that I play as many games as possible. And the only games I don't review are the games that I don't enjoy.
Gotcha.
So that's why we didn't. It was a matter of, I could come back with another 50 games. But what's the point if I'm not going to be able to help those people by playing the games and reviewing them?
I get point. Yep.
So I don't want them to waste money. True that there were a couple of games I wish I had got that I didn't, but I will not let FOMO get the better of me.
Gotcha. Of course.
So that's it. That's Spiel. I absolutely loved it, and I cannot wait to go back next year. The experience with Meeple on board Vanguard was absolutely fantastic. They've become like family. Absolutely love them. And I'm looking forward to seeing them again very, very soon. Love you guys.